Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the full armor of God and what does that really mean exactly. It's in the Bible, Ephesians 5, 6, and verse 10 is where it starts. It says, "Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you might be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic power over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." So, what does that mean exactly? There's a lot in there because what they're talking about is the fact that we're not fighting against other humans. Okay. And if you're not familiar with the Anunnaki, essentially are fallen angels, if you're not familiar with the fact that we have beings that are in other dimensions that are able to shift from like 3D to 4D to 5D to 2D. They're able to move back and forth. They're able to move between dimensions. They're able to go between the astral and come into our dimension and slip right back. I've actually seen it with my own eyes, and they're very sneaky. They can be. And there are some that are even living within the earth. They call us the surface dwellers. So there's a lot going on that most people don't know about. And if you're a spiritual person and if you're someone who does remote viewing, which is actually something that the CIA has even taught its agents, the ability to be out of your body and go and witness events as they occur, it's a thing. People can do it. They can actually leave their physical body and go watch and see what's happening. And because time is 3D structure, like time is not really real. Everything is kind of more fluid throughout the universe. It's just something that we use here on Earth in the three-dimensional reality that we're living in. So because of that, they are those that can do astral projection are able to kind of move even into something that's happened in the past. I know that sounds really freaky, but it really is a thing. And if you are familiar with that concept of remote viewing, you can even Google it. It's something that the CIA has done, remote viewing. So there's just a lot that's been going on behind the scenes, and there are a lot of people that have been able to witness the fact that there are ETs living under the earth or within the earth, and is not under the earth, within the earth. And yeah, there's just a lot of negative entities that are continually attacking humans. Okay. And like it says in the Bible, they're cosmic powers from dark places. So we're not just wrestling human to human. Why is this important? These are really important concepts to learn about and to understand and to reflect on. You can take me at my word, or you can spend your own time in meditation and see if it lands. Maybe this doesn't land for you, and that's fine. But the truth is, once we accept what's really happening, we can understand why the Bible is telling us that we have to put on the full armor of God. Because as a human, we can't possibly wrestle with any success against these dark forces. They have abilities that we have, but we haven't yet activated, or we're not aware that we have, or we haven't used. And so we're like sitting ducks. I mean, as a human, we're just so vulnerable. And that's why God is so protective of us. That's why he looks at us as his children. That's why he loves us and wants to protect us. And he forgives us so easily because he knows what we're up against. He understands that these are forces that can actually move into our energy field. What I'm talking about are beings that are able to move into our energy field, into our aura, and influence our thoughts. They can influence our behavior. They can really toy with our subconscious. They can find out what it is that's at the root of our subconscious. They can look and see what memories we have, what negative experiences we've had, and really toy with us in a way that we're not even aware of. Okay. And I've seen it. I've seen people that I know who are wonderful people act completely out of character. And I know that when that happens, it's because some other energy has come in, and they do it all the time. It's very, very common. And so it's for this reason we have to really lean on God, and we have to really be like kids that are just relying on their parent because he knows things we don't know. He understands things we don't understand. He knows how to take care of us in a way that we are not able to take care of ourselves, at least not yet. We're not able to. We're just not. Most people don't even know this exists. Many people wouldn't even believe it if they heard it. There's some of you that might be listening to me now that don't even believe it. So, knowing all of that, how would we possibly have any ability to successfully wrestle against these dark forces? It's like we're working with both arms tied around our back, right? So, again, even if these concepts are just too out there and too beyond your belief system, and you just can't even imagine that this is true, at the very least, believe the Bible when it tells you, put on the full armor of God. Put on the armor of God because you have no idea what we're dealing with here. It is beyond what most people, like I said, can even comprehend. Again, this is not a scare tactic. This channel is not one intended to scare people at all. In fact, I'm trying to do the opposite and empower everybody, understanding the divinity within each of us and how strong we really are. But not strong enough to do this without God. Not strong enough to not put on the full armor of God. We need it. We need God's help. We cannot manage this spiritual battle on our own. It's impossible. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the mental health crisis that we have. We wouldn't have the mental health illnesses that we have. A lot of that is coming from these energies that are constantly attacking us, toying with our subconscious and bringing us into really deep states of anxiety, states of depression. A lot of it is because of this spiritual warfare. And the only way we're going to have any success is leaning against God and surrendering to Him, being very vulnerable and just saying, you know something, I'm beyond my ability here, right? This is beyond me. I can't do this by myself. It's impossible. It's sort of like when an addict goes to AA, right? And they say, I can't do this alone. I need a higher power to come help me because it's impossible. It's the same thing. The sooner we accept that, the sooner we're willing to realize that, yes, we have free will, but in reality, we're just moving targets. We're just sitting ducks. We're so vulnerable. And the second we admit that to ourselves and acknowledge it and accept it and surrender to God, the easier it gets. The easier it gets. The more you relinquish control, the easier your life will become. And I know that. I'm part laughing because I can reflect on so many times where I tried to stay in control, where I didn't want to relinquish control, where I didn't want to surrender. And in the end, I look back and realize, oh, that was a huge mistake because I missed huge opportunities. I think I've mentioned this on a previous video. Opportunities of a lifetime that would have made such a difference to my life, to my children's lives, to my prosperity, things that I passed on because I had fear and I wasn't listening to God when He was leading me towards this. Okay. A hard lesson, but a wonderful lesson because now I'm fully surrendered for the most part. Obviously, I'm human. I'm not infallible. Believe me, I make a lot of mistakes all the time. But I try really, really hard. I guess that's the better way to say it. I try really, really, really hard to surrender. I try really hard to be obedient and just allow God to take over because I know I'm in over my head. What's going on right now, we can't do this alone. And again, the sooner you figure that out, the sooner you'll be on a path towards a much easier life. And you'll learn the tools and the ways that you can ground yourself, stay centered, stay close to Him, to Jesus, stay close to God, and know that you have protection. You have angels protecting you. You have a lot of protection as long as you call it in, you believe in it, and you accept it. And a lot of that is letting go of what it is that you think you should be doing, what it is that you think you should be focused on, whether you think you should be going down rabbit holes to figure out what's happening in the news, whether you want to spend your time debating political things in the political arena. And I'm not, judging everyone that does that. I mean, clearly, yeah, it's okay to have intellectual debate, but if that's all you're doing, or if you're spending all of your time just focusing on these things, on the divisiveness, rather than trying to come within and connect to God and find unity, you're going to have a hard time. It's only going to get harder and harder. Overall, the energy is getting harder. Overall, the collective energy is going to become more and more chaotic, more and more divisive, more and more violent, even. It's been shown to me there's a lot of death coming. I don't know what that looks like exactly. I don't know if it's a plague. The book of Revelations talks about a plague, but I haven't seen that. So I'm not saying that's the case, but there is death coming to a lot of households. And that's simply because there are many who were not intended to move through the rapture process. They're simply going to go right to heaven. They're not going to stay on earth and ascend into heaven, which is what rapture is. We stay here, but we move up in frequency. They're just going to go to heaven, right? A lot of death coming. There's a lot of change coming. There's a lot happening and more coming. So the sooner you can ground yourself and find your center and start to really connect with God and put on that armor, the better off you will be. I am feeling a strong calling to try to help people with that. Okay. And what I'm leaning towards now is creating what I'm going to call a not so perfect Bible book club. And I say that because I don't want to only focus on the Bible. I would like to actually start with Mary Magdalene, the divine feminine. She is the central figure in the divine feminine movement, as far as I can tell, and has not been given the recognition nor the attention that's deserved. And I think that's changing. I see it changing. I see the energy changing collectively as well as within many women. And we're going to see more women leaders. We're going to see more divine feminine women leaders. Again, this is not in any way, shape, or form to diminish the male or the masculine, the divine masculine, because we need both. It just needs to be more balanced. It needs to be more balanced, and the men and the women need to work together in harmony. There needs to be a rebalancing and a coming together of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Okay. So we need to really open up to the feminine energies that have a lot to teach us and a lot to show us. And the Gospel of Mary Magdalene was left out of the Bible, yet she has incredibly powerful messages that have been discovered because the Gospel of Mary was discovered in the desert of Egypt, I think it was. And there have been books written about that. That is where I would like to begin with this not so perfect Bible book club and delve into her gospel and her messaging, which is really relevant right now, extremely relevant and extremely important. And it's not just that women need to know about it, men do too, because the more the divine feminine embodies her power and really opens up to those energies, the more she can lift up the divine masculine. And I don't mean necessarily just in a couple, but just overall, your children, your friends, your coworkers. I'm talking energy. So not just people, but the more the divine feminine energy can grow and step into the force that it is, the more it will help divine masculine as well. So it's for the benefit of society, it's for the benefit of all of us. So that's all of that is to say, if you're interested in partaking in this type of exploration, again, not so perfect because I don't claim to be a Bible expert at all. I'm probably the opposite of that because I grew up Catholic and we didn't really read a lot of the Bible. Okay. I know a lot of prayer. I've learned a lot of meditation. I have a lot of tools at my disposal that I've learned over the last 9 or 10 years. But when it comes to the Bible, I'm still pretty novice. Okay. So I'm happy to open up a space for a group of us to gather and discuss what we know and share. But I would like to start with the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. So if that's something you're interested in, please feel free to email me at hello@annamariamckessie.com. Anna's with one N. Email me. I'm happy to hear from you. We'll see where it goes. And it's experimental. Like I said, it's free. It's probably we're going to meet, I think, on Sunday evening is what I'm leaning towards. Sunday, probably 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll just take it from there and see where that goes. So that's part of why I put this video together is to put that out there. But that sort of secondary, primary reason for the video is put on the full armor of God. It's so important. It's so important, especially now. I hope that resonates. I hope that helps. And I wish you a blessed day and a wonderful week ahead. Take care.